All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the webinar, How to Use HubSpot Text Messaging for Sales and Marketing. And I am your host, Krista Moon. I'm the president of Ascend Business Growth. And we're here today with Nate, who's the co-founder of Structurally. And he's going to share ideas about how to use text messaging in HubSpot together. So I'd like to welcome you all to the webinar. And we're going to move on here. So what's our agenda today? So I'm looking forward to hearing from Nate, but let's check out the agenda. We're doing introductions now, and then he's going to talk about some of the benefits and some examples of how to use examples of how sales teams have increased their response rates incredibly through text messaging, which is what was one of the things that was really exciting to me. And then he's got some use cases and templates that he's going to share. So you don't have to think of out of the box, how am I going to use this text messaging idea for sales and marketing? And then he's going to do a demo to show you what does that look like in HubSpot and how that works and how the integration works. And so who are Nate and Krista? I am, as I mentioned, I'm president of Ascend Business Growth, and we've been a HubSpot partner since 2010. And we've built all of our skills and services around HubSpot. And so we've been really exclusively HubSpot for all these years. I don't really work on any other tools. I try to avoid it as much as possible, try to get them all onto HubSpot because that's our specialty and where we can really add value for our clients. I have 12 years in sales, my early career, and then I concluded during that process that companies need content to do marketing because salespeople can't get enough appointments through cold calling. And that was back 11 years ago, right? So things have even progressed even more in that area. But that's why I started this agency, just to help salespeople get more leads and help companies have the content required to educate their buyers and help them. And so our mission with HubSpot is just strictly to help people get maximum value from their software. We've been using it for a long time, have a lot of processes and systems and ideas, and I've seen a lot in all these years. So we just want to make sure that people are using it, all the tools available to them in the best way that for them, for their company. And then see what happened is Nate and I met a few weeks ago through a business connection, a customer that used to be my customer way back when, and he called me, he's like, you need to meet with Nate. So I met with him, and he recently joined the HubSpot ecosystem with their conversational sales platform, in the texting. And so then his data shows, and I was really impressed with this, that texting campaigns have average, the ones that he's seen through his system, open rates of 95%, response rates of 55%, and then lead conversion rates of 12%. So it's just another great way to get in front of your people and increase conversion rates. And so what happened with me and why I was so interested in it is because I've been seeing a lot of play on text lately with businesses. I haven't always gotten text messages, about business stuff, appointment reminders and like healthcare things. Yeah, sure. That's been going on for a while. But lately I've been getting just promotional text or like things like that. I haven't seen anything yet about using text for content marketing. Nothing's come through on my phone about that, but that's definitely an interesting concept, I think, to explore. And I'm going to hand it off to, I got to stop my share. So now with that said, I'm going to hand it off to Nate, and Nate, you can share with us all the good stuff about what you're doing with texting and helping companies grow using this channel. Oh, you're muted.
Yep, just saw that. So absolutely happy to be here. Can you guys see my screen now? Perfect. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've seen with texting specifically through HubSpot, but kind of diving into things a little bit outside of HubSpot too. So just in general, does texting work? Sounds like some of you guys are thinking about that. And like Krista said, she's seen it for other businesses, other use cases, but maybe was a little hesitant to use it herself. So we've analyzed about 5 million leads to date that we've seen through texting. And here are some of the results. We've seen a 57% engagement rate, a 12% qualification rate. So this is a lead that can actually, or a lead that our product has taken to a next step, basically qualified them. Said they're a hand raiser, ready to go, and a 2% appointment set rate. So text messaging does get strong results. You can see an example conversation of a text message conversation that we had with one of our internal prospects on the right-hand side there. So that lead we followed up with for approximately 6 months. They said they were interested finally. We wanted to qualify them based off of how much usage they'd use for our product. So asking how many leads they get a month, and then also like what technology or CRM they're using. So an entire texting conversation happened there where we actually qualified a lead and set an appointment. So taking a little step back about why does texting work? So I think a little bit more about the hypothetical and conceptual. One of the things that many studies, including folks from like drift.com and others have looked at is response time. And they found that most businesses have very poor response time. Your leads are typically filling out some form of some kind, either a contact request for demo, or maybe just filling out some content of some kind. Most businesses, they found, do not follow up with leads within 24 hours. And what we've seen is your likelihood to qualify that lead actually reduce by 21 times if you don't respond to a lead in 5 minutes. So you can imagine that if you ghost your lead for 24 hours, you're much less likely to get them to respond. So the first reason why texting matters is just simply what we call speed to lead. And you have one goal and one goal only, and that's to get the lead to actually respond. Once you get them to respond, you have one additional goal, and that's speed to response. So you've done all your work to get a lead to respond, but if they respond and say, yeah, I'm interested, and then you ghost them again, they're going to leave. They're going to go to your competitor. And so you have to really think about this in terms of your systems. You have a system in place to capture speed to lead. Can you get to your leads quickly over text message, or just in general over any messaging channel quickly? And then as soon as they reply, are you there, or is your team there, or is a system there to respond to them and actually have a two-way conversation back? It can be very short. It can be long, similar to like a real estate conversation that you see over here. As long as you have a system set up in place to really hone in on your speed to lead, that is paramount. So taking a look at like, are others seeing texting working? We've done an analysis of our own kind of use case here. So we actually took a campaign internally of 176 leads who are in our HubSpot account, who were actually previously churned customers. So these are customers who were using Structurally in the past and then canceled. And we haven't spoken to them for about anywhere ranging from 6 plus months. And we sent them through a text campaign, which I'll show you in a second what that actually looked like. And you can see the results there. 39% engagement, 4% of our demo, or 4% of that list was we set demos with. And we actually resulted in 3 accounts signing up from a simple automated text campaign in less than a week. So you can see all these above stats were actually, this was a campaign that we ran last week, and we saw these results already. So it's a really quick way to kind of cut through the noise. There was a question about, compliance. And that's something that, I'd be happy to talk more about, but this was a specific campaign where all of these customers had opted into Structurally. And usually your GDPR compliance, so the little checkbox that even HubSpot sometimes adds for you that says, by filling out this form, or by signing up for my product, or by contacting me, you've opted into receiving communication from our company. Usually that covers you to be able to text leads, for some set of time, we've written ours in a way, and most people do, to be able to respond and use that data for at least a year. So we were looking at our customers who we, have churned in the last year, who we reached out to. They were compliant because they've opted into our click agreement to using Structurally. So this is a lot of text, but I wanted to put what this actual campaign looked like out there. So I mentioned earlier, part of this will be to share more templates that we used here, but wanted to give you an idea for what these messages look like that got those results on the last screen that I just showed you. So we won't go through it all, but starting with the first message, we actually led with a discount and incentive. And I think it was like 50% off our first month if you get started again. But you can also see that we added a GIF. I don't know if I can pull it up here, but it's linked there, and we'll send the slides out so you can see the link. But it's just like a funny, I believe it's someone like tapping on the screen GIF, and it's just one of those it's one of those things that breaks through the noise. And we've seen that lots of things like emojis, GIFs. Our product even puts purposeful typos in our texts and then corrects them immediately after. Those really human-like characteristics in messages go a long way to driving really high engagement. So again, this is our reactivation campaign. You can take a look at the rest of them. I'll send this out as a template as well, so you can kind of get a feel and use them yourself. But we actually followed up with unresponsive leads, kind of in this cadence you see here. Kind of aggressive to start, a little less aggressive as we go on. And we followed up with them for about 115 days. And this just started last week, so no one's made it through 115 days so far, but they're all automatically queued up to get this cadence. So how else are others using texting? That's one way. So being able to actually follow up with churned customers might not make sense for everyone here. Everyone that might see this. So I went and looked at some different examples of how we actually ourselves use texting and other companies use texting as well. So this will make a little more sense if I go to this screen to start, I guess. So you can kind of look at your marketing and sales funnel on the right-hand side here. You have top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel, pretty basic, methodology here. But the different use cases that you see in each of them are opportunities where you can text leads. So you can reach out and qualify cold leads. Those might be brand new, never heard from you before leads. You have to be really careful there, compliance-wise. Typically, what we see if you run a playbook like that is start by emailing them, get them to opt in to texting, and then text them. I would not recommend, for sheer compliance, texting leads cold. That is typically out of compliance entirely. But some more compliant use cases are going to be to engage and better qualify low-scoring non-MQLs, engage and qualify leads pre or post events. So we might text you here after this. Re-engage and qualify dormant leads, really strong use case there. Turn MQLs into SQLs, re-engage past demos, chase reschedule leads, and you see at the very bottom here, reactivate past customers. So I think we have a question actually, but before I take that, I'll just kind of show you how you might look at some of these use cases filter wise or segmentation wise in your CRM. So looking at potentially folks, leads, contacts who came in from marketing, but are not in MQL yet and have not heard from you. So these are like leads who might have registered for an event or downloaded some content or just reached out to you, but you haven't talked to them yet and you haven't qualified them yet. This might be an example of how you can segment them. You can see in our HubSpot account, we have about 4,600 of these leads that we've used our product for. The next step would be someone who's actually become an MQL yet, so a marketing qualified lead, but they haven't heard from you in approximately 6 months or more. These are kind of dormant leads. Huge opportunity for us that we're actually running right now is squarely here. We realized that we had a ton of leads that we've generated in the past year, but they haven't gone anywhere. They haven't even heard from us in the past 6 months. We've seen a huge lift in demos set this past month when we focused our sales team on this center segment here of marketing qualified leads who haven't heard from us in the past 6 months. Another area where our sales team is actually focused on texting is post demo. So we saw a lot of leads, again, in our system where we've had a demo with a lead. It's been a while since they talked to us, but they didn't go anywhere. They didn't purchase. They're just kind of in ether. They didn't move to closed won. They didn't move to closed lost. They've just completed a demo and ghosted us. So we've been texting them and bringing them back to demos, and that's worked really well. The last one here is what you saw in terms of our example, previously churned customers who we haven't talked to in a while. And then this one is demo schedule date is known and complete date is unknown. So similar to this one where they've scheduled a demo, but they haven't completed a demo yet. So kind of just before this one where we're trying to schedule a demo still. So these are just some examples of kind of the entire funnel that you might be able to use texting in. I'll answer your question now. Justin.
So my question you talked a little bit about the compliance side of it, and the last slide that you were just on was pretty helpful. If we have a marketing qualified lead that comes in through like an inbound process, but they don't leave a cell phone, and we're able to get that information from like a Zoom info.
Yeah.
Are we still within compliance, or would that then be out of compliance? So the reason I ask is a lot like our product is an SMS based SaaS system.
Yeah.
So they're typically reaching out, inquiring about, utilizing text messaging. And so my instincts say if we text them, they're not going to be upset. But I also don't want to like violate anything. So if it comes in so we get a lot of like top of funnel leads that are marketing qualified that come in through an inbound process, but we don't like have their full like cell phone information, but we can garner that through other software.
Yeah.
Do you know if that is within compliance?
Yeah, I would definitely, I'm no legal expert, but I would definitely say, look at the TCPA compliance laws for sure. And I don't want to say anything that would, put myself at jeopardy, but that is something that we do. So
okay,
we do gather information from our customers in a number of different ways. They might fill out a form with just their email, and one of their colleagues might have signed up elsewhere. So we've written our GDPR compliance on the website to say, a specific way of, we can contact you even with information that we append otherwise. So you might just want to think about just taking a look at what your compliance language is, just so you can say, we can contact you outside of the means that you might just fill out through this form. Worst case scenario, again, I would probably say, if you want to be super compliant, start with an email and get them to opt in to texting through that email. It's a little bit roundabout, but the exact use case that you talked about is something that we do as well.
Cool. And then also you mentioned in like post demos, like when they start ghosting. So in our demos, we typically send out a text message to them, like what our product would look like to their customers.
Cool.
So at that point, we obviously have their cell phone number.
Yep.
That seems like a pretty easy kind of transition to, hey, where you at type situation.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome use case and very compliant. I mean, you can even go so far as, proving or disproving, saying that you got their consent on the demo as well to text them, which you did because you did text them as a part of your product.
Yeah, we always ask. So
yeah, exactly. So I think you're well in compliance there. But again, no legal expert. But that's something that we do too. So one of our, if you want to go actually like kind of experience this a little for yourself, you can go to test. Ooh, I'm going to blank on this, but it's either testyouraiassistant.com or testmyaiassistant.com. You'll fill out a form and we'll text you through our product. So it's a similar use case that you're talking about. And that's actually something that we do on demos too. So definitely in line with a lot of that stuff.
Got it. That makes sense. And do the numbers that you send from, are they 10 digit, 800 numbers, or
Yep.
other?
And they're 10-digit long codes.
Got it.
Yep. And not to make this a compliance webinar, but there is a whole new era of compliance with those 10-digit long codes called A to P 10DLC.
Yep.
That you should be
We're
aware of.
already getting the EINs for all of our customers. So
Cool. Yep. That's an important one.
yep. We're trying to be the most compliant. And so that's why like we want to make sure that we're staying within that from the sales process as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I'll hop into a live demo too. And that might also kind of alleviate some questions and let you guys see different examples. So it will be a previously live demo. My internet decided that it wasn't going to work right before this. So I wanted to make sure I had an actual conversation to show. This one is basically live demo as of yesterday. So here's a lead. Can you guys still see my screen from HubSpot?
Yep.
Okay. So here's a lead that came in yesterday that was looking for some content. They basically downloaded a piece of content of ours. They left their name, phone, email, and viewed a few other pages through an integration like Structurally. I got to find it here. We have a field that's called enroll in Structurally. So we actually set up a workflow that automatically enrolls content users into this field. And then I got to look at all of the different workflows here to find where that is. So here's what it is, what that workflow looks like. So basically anyone that uses one of these forms of content, after a minute, automatically gets enrolled to what we call the pre-MQL campaign. So that's a lead that's not yet a marketing qualified lead, but they've come into Structurally as just what would be called mostly like a raw lead. So they got automatically enrolled into that campaign. And as you can see here, Structurally, our AI assistant automatically reached out to them saying, thanks for checking out some material. Hope you get a lot of value. You can also see some more value here. Was there anything that caught your eye? It also sent an email because our product works over email as well. But then the lead replied. They said, thanks. I was just taking a peek at the calendar. Thanks so much. This is where I said, first and foremost, that speed to lead is important. So you saw that as soon as the lead registered, which was at 3:44 p.m., we texted them at 3:52 p.m. So speed to lead, super important. And speed to response is equally as important. So that lead responded right away, and we responded right away back. No worries. You have the link if you ever want to check it out. What problems are you facing with lead follow-up in Nurture right now? So this is a custom script that actually our AI assistant is using to have this conversation. And the conversation ensued here, all happening through HubSpot. Then it looks like our sales rep actually took it over from their personal phone and texted the lead from there. But that's an example of basically how the whole process would work. You can also see this lead is here in Structurally, just to kind of round it out. Here's that same conversation. Our sales rep can come in here and mute the AI, which they might have done, and texted it themselves. And lastly, just to round out where that entire script came from, here is our texting and email script customization editor. So just like you saw with those follow-up templates that I showed early, You can customize the response follow-up that we have for leads. You can also customize the two-way back and forth conversation that you saw with the lead. So you saw this message in that conversation, you saw this message. If the lead continued to respond, we'd go through a full qualifying script like this, which is totally customizable, entirely manageable by our reps so they can see the conversations in real time in HubSpot. And in this case, actually, our sales rep took over the conversation because they wanted to. So that's what an example of a real conversation looks like.
How as a salesperson would you get notified to take over the conversation? Do you get a text message as well saying there's somebody inquiring?
Yeah. So in our product, we have different settings for a bunch of different things. So notification settings for over email or through a mobile app. So you can see like when a lead is messaged, so you can see every message, but you can also see things like when a lead needs an agent to follow up. So we have these different stages here that are responded, unresponsive, interested, not interested, agent follow-up. Agent follow-up is basically like our most qualified. It's the lead said something in the conversation that essentially they want to take a next step. They're a hand raiser. That categorization happens automatically through our product, and they would actually be notified if they have this setting on via text, our mobile app, and email that, hey, you have a qualified lead. You can take that conversation over now.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, I'll wrap here. We're coming in kind of at our 30-minute mark, but essentially this is what Structurally does for you. We follow up and qualify over text and email. Text is our primary channel. We respond 24/7, 365 in under 2 minutes. Follow up for 12 months, customized in a customizable way, and have two-way qualifying conversations, all customizable. You can kind of see that long-term follow-up here. I showed you some other examples. And if you want to see our app, I thought I had it pulled up, which I do. If you want to see how our app works within HubSpot directly, you can check us out in the HubSpot app ecosystem just by searching Structurally. Give you a little bit of ideas of what you saw today on the demo. But it's essentially as easy as enrolling leads through this custom field, enrolling Structurally. You can see all the different campaigns that we're running here. These are our actual campaigns that we can automatically or manually enroll leads into, which automatically sets them down a text or email follow-up path and qualification script. But you can easily install it here within HubSpot. And lastly, as kind of promised, I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to kind of, again, look at our scripts. We've put together a bunch of different templates here, which if you just go to structurally.com/resources and go to our scripts and templates, you can see anything ranging from new lead follow-up, similar to the use case I just showed you, even customer support scripts, cold demo, post-webinar follow-up, post-demo, mortgage, real estate. We've got all sorts of text templates that you can gather from our resource page here.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I'm clear. So if I wanted to set this up for like, if someone fills out a form, they automatically get enrolled in one of these texting campaigns.
Yeah.
That I would just have a workflow or something or a hidden field on the form.
Yep, exactly. So it was very similar to that, this workflow here. So we set up a workflow where we automatically add a field. Sorry, I'm jumping around here a lot, but we automatically add a field to content used when they download a certain form. So you can see early on, this lead registered on our website from this 4-week inside sales agent onboarding template. So we have a workflow behind the scenes that automatically adds this value to the content used field. So then when we see any of those content used fields get updated, and there's a lot of them because we have a lot of content, you can see here, any one of those is updated. We wait a minute and then we add them to our pre-MQL campaign.
Okay.
So it all happens automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that with any situation. So
Right.
if, for example, I can't remember all of our campaigns off the top of my head, but, demo completed new. I don't know if we have a live workflow for this anymore that's actually working, but essentially you could set up a workflow for when you move a deal from, pre-demo to post-demo. That workflow triggers the enroll instructionally field to true, or to get this added to the enroll instructionally field, and then sends them a post-demo script, which you can steal a template from, which I think we say something like, hey, thanks for joining us on our webinar today. Here's where you can sign up, so on and so forth. So tons of automation can be done here. It's almost limitless, especially with workflows and Structurally's custom script builder and script assignment rules.
So just if I wanted to do a combo of texting and emailing, I could set all of it up in your tool, because you said you do email too. So I could set the whole workflow up in there, or I could set it up in HubSpot and have, so if like it's going to text on day 5 and day 10, and then in the workflow, I would just schedule the emails to go on the days not that I'm texting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we've actually seen. That's why we added email to our product. When you couple email and text together and actually kind of play them off one another, you actually just obviously increase your response rate as a whole, because not only are you doubling your chances of response over 2 channels, you're appearing more human.
Right.
If you message, if you copyright correctly. So in your text, you can say something like, hey, I wanted to shoot you a text, but I sent you an email as well.
Yeah.
And then vice versa. In your email, hey, I wanted to email you here, but I sent you a text as well. That just feels really human, because why would a robot know that it sent a text? Why would a robot know that it sent an email? That's something a human would write and a human would say. And that, I think, that is our approach, is our AI and our texting wants to feel very human. That's why I said we use GIFs, we use emojis, we put purposeful typos, but we also write very human-like things, like playing text and email off one another.
And when you do GIFs, you just put the link in, the URL, or the copy of the link code.
You can, but we actually have a feature through our product that you can upload it and it will send as like an actual
okay.
image.
That's what I want.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you upload it and then.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I love GIFs. I think they're super fun.
Very, very helpful. They're one of our most secret and powerful little tools to get responses through texting.
I actually like to use them in emails as well. So I have the
we do
Giphy connection into my email. And so it's just fun to add a little.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, that's all I've got for now. If you want to contact us, here's where you can do so. Like I said, if you want to also check out the resources, structurally.com/resources. These slides will be made available on our website. The recording will be made available. I believe we'll also be emailing and possibly texting you.
Well, we're going to text. Yeah. So just so you guys know, I am new to Structurally. So this is all brand new for me. So I'm still trying to learn the ropes, but you're all in the Structurally system. So I'm going to send you a text after this, and I'm going to include a GIF. So, and then if you need any help with HubSpot, you can call me, Structurally, call Nate, and we'll be super happy to help any way we can. But thank you so much, Nate, for your information. I learned a lot and I'm very excited. I have a lot of webinars coming up and I'm excited to text. I want to text. I want to use texting as part of our campaigns to increase our conversions. And one of our webinars is going to be on cybersecurity. So I would love to invite you back to talk, because we're going to tie in the website and then the data management. And I definitely need, now that I'm going to be texting, to include that for the texting. So hopefully we can see you again soon. And does
All right.
anybody else have any questions before we jump off? 3, 2, 1. All right. Thanks, everyone. And thank you so much, Nate. I'll be in touch. We'll see you.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, wait. Oh, no, never mind. We'll see you.